Are you one of those people that has a bunch of unopened kits sitting in your craft room? I couldn't believe how many people in my Facebook group told me that they have unopened, unused kits that are piling up in their craft room. Because guess what? The first thing that I did when I found out I was expecting number 2 was I actually invested in a couple of kits. So I went to Altenew and grabbed a bunch of their kits because to me, kits are the perfect solution for crafting with very little time. So I'm about to reveal my big secret. This is the system I use, and this is what's truly made a difference. So the very first step is a mindset step. I'm not here to make a card. I am here to make parts. So if there's a stencil in my kit, I stencil it. If there's die cuts in my kit, I die cut. If there's stamps in my kit, I stamp them.
And some of these steps I don't even do in my craft room. I'll throw on the TV, relax, sit back, and do some of them. So in this case, I did all my die cutting in the living room on a Friday night while I was watching Emily in Paris. So the first beautiful thing in this kit were die cuts. So I cut out all the pieces. The next thing in this stencil kit were stencils. And so I went ahead and stenciled this background. And while I'm stenciling and I have your attention, I wanted to invite you to the Create With Your Card Making Stash Summit. I am hosting a summit with 29 instructors, 32 card classes, and I'm personally teaching 3 of them. The event is absolutely free to sign up, and it's taking place January 29th to 31st. So if you participate on the summit weekend, it is completely free, and you're welcome to upgrade your ticket if you would like lifetime access and immediate access so you can start watching right away. I'll see you there. Now, I tried a couple of different color combinations too because I find it easier when it comes to layering stencils to do them all at once. So I just create a whole bunch of different ones with different color combos and experiment and have a ton of fun. And as I'm stenciling, you're probably going to notice that flower on the bottom right doesn't look good. Because guess what? This is the first time I stenciled it and I made a mistake, and that's totally okay. So if I'm just sitting down and saying, okay, my goal right now is to just stencil, not to create a card, nothing. It's okay if I make a mistake on the first one so that when I go to the second one, I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. And not only that, the best thing about 6x6 backgrounds is that you can cut them down anyway. So if you make a mistake on one of the flowers, not a big deal.
So I'm really curious about this, and I want you to be honest. Do you have a kit right now that is unopened or partially used? Tell me in the comments and then let me know what is stopping you. No judgment at all. If anything, it's your sign to pull it out this week. Step number 2 is I broke everything into realistic crafting sessions. I didn't do this all in one day. I actually did this in 4 separate crafting sessions. Day 1 stenciling, day 2 die cutting, day 3 assembling, and day 4 putting it together like a puzzle. Each session felt complete because I had completed a task from start to finish, even if I was only spending a short amount of time on it.
So for this die, once it was die cut, for example, I spent the next craft session actually just gluing all the pieces together and following the guide very carefully that Altenew provides. So I glued each little piece step by step to create these beautiful birdhouses, some beautiful birds, some leaves, and things like that. So I wanted to talk quickly too about how you could make these die cuts more exciting. So when it comes to card kits, and like I said, each session I'm doing something like stenciling or I'm doing something like die cutting, what I also like to do during those sessions is experiment in all the ways that I can think of on how to do or how to use each one of these supplies. So for example, for these die cuts, I didn't really have a great brown cardstock for this. So I went ahead and I used my Copic markers, for example, to color these. And I ended up grabbing a bird die another bird die to go with this set. And I experimented as well. So what would this bird look like when I die cut it from colored cardstock? Could I make it look even better or more dimensional if I use a different technique? So what techniques could be possible? I could, for example, instead of cutting each color out of cardstock, I could color them, or I figured I could ink blend them. So when it comes to ink blending them, it actually allowed me to cut everything out of white cardstock, which went a lot quicker than coloring out of colored cardstock. And then I added them to a grip mat here to keep them all in place, all the little die cuts. And I used the Altenew detailed blending brushes to just go in and add little bits of color in some dark blue, medium blue, and light blue to create dimension. So you can see here, I have an ink blended bird, and then I have this cardstock bird. Now keep in mind, this bird is not part of the kit. I ordered it because this kit is all about birds, and I saw this extra bird die, and I thought to myself, this would be perfect to go with the kit. Another technique that I experimented with was going in with Copic markers and just adding more detailed coloring instead of detailed blending. This is going to give you even more detail. Now the thing is about this is when I die cut this bird, for example, I die cut like 10 birds all at once, and I keep them in my kit so that anytime I want to create this, I don't have to go in and do all that die cutting again. If I'm die cutting once or I'm die cutting 3 times or 5 times, it doesn't make much of a difference time-wise. So I try and die cut a bunch of them so that I don't have to do it the following time. So now I have 3 very different birds. I've tried out different techniques. Now I know which one's my personal favorite. I like the coloring one. According to Instagram, you guys like the ink blended one. And so now I know in the future what I want to do with this.
Now, once everything was done, I spread it all out on my desk and I started putting things together kind of like a puzzle. No pressure, no decisions really, just putting things and matching things together. Everything coordinates anyway, so you really can't go wrong here.
Again, that's the beauty of a kit, is that everything coordinates really well and you don't have to make all of those decisions. So let's spread these out like a puzzle, and I'll go through my thought process on how I put all of these together. So you can see that I embossed 2 backgrounds in white and 1 in navy blue, again to give myself a lot of options. I have my stenciled background, and then on the left I have a pile of white cardstock that I can use. I have all my die cuts here on the right that are ready to go. So for me, it's just like a puzzle. We're just experimenting, see what fits, see what doesn't. So you can see I put the birdhouse down, I put the bird on top, I put the bird in the front, I put the birdhouse on a branch, off a branch, the bird flying, and I just kind of just start playing with all of the pieces. And I generally do try to die cut more pieces than I need, so I always have a lot of different options in case I realize, oh, I need a couple of those die cuts, or I need a few of those birdhouses. Once I have my general layout, then it's time to go in and use my sentiments. So there is a sentiment stamp included in this. There's a large background stamp included in this kit. And so I'm going ahead and I'm laying down all the sentiments that I think would work for these stamps to see what I like, what I don't, what fits where, and what doesn't. I definitely wanted to make use of this really large background stamp as well. And I think this background stamp is definitely one I'm going to be using a lot of in my card making because it's just a perfect solid stamp, and I love solid stamps because I don't have to do any coloring on them. Perfect for backgrounds, perfect for all kinds of techniques. I think that's going to be an upcoming video of mine, is how I would go about using that stamp and creating a bunch of different cards because they're such versatile stamps. The last thing I do is then I think to myself, is there anything that's missing? So I felt like this top one here was kind of busy and I needed something to pull in. So I thought I'd just grab a frame just to add that to my card. I think that's going to help pull things together and just give it a little bit of a focal point. I'm also going to go ahead and stamp all of those things that I had to stamp onto the cards, including all of the sentiments that I had chosen for the cards. And the last step really is just to glue everything down. So here's the results: 5 cards, 4 craft sessions, and no guilt because I've used all the supplies plus the bird from my kit.
Now I'm simply left with the decision. Do I keep the kit together like an old married couple, or do I separate them because they've had enough of each other? Now, I have to say, this is a decision that you have to make based on your stash. And if you're a little nervous about it, I would suggest taking 2 kits, keep one together and separate one, and then see what happens in the next few months or even the next year. How do you reach for your supplies? Do you reach for them at all? Do you reach for a kit or do you reach for individual things? What does that look like for you? For me, it's pretty easy because I digitally catalog my craft supplies in Airtable. I'll put a link to that below in the video description if you ever want to use it. But I am able to then put the kit back together quickly if I ever felt the need of using that kit as a whole again. But I find by separating my supplies, I'm much more likely to use them. After I finished using a kit and I create 10, 15, 20 cards, I'm kind of done with it personally, but I'm not really done with the individual supplies because I can mix and match them with other things in my craft room and create even more incredible ideas and cards. So for me personally, I split up the supplies once I finish initially using it as a kit. Now, if you enjoyed listening to my thought process on how I used kits Now, if you enjoyed listening to my thought process and creating some cards with me, by all means, come over to this video, meet me over here. It's another video using a card kit that I think you're really gonna enjoy, where I go through, once again, another way that I look at kits and how I create with them. So I'll see you over there. Let me know in the comments that you just finished watching this video.